brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Introducing new Loco Kickin' Chicken from El Pollo Loco. Fresh from the grill. Nightcap for the Dodgers and the Cubs after the Dodgers won game 1 4-3. Tonight it'll be Mike Montgomery for the Cubs against Rich Hill for the Dodgers. Let's meet the Dodgers starting lineup presented by Blue Shield. Chris Taylor to lead things off for Dave Roberts, and then in center field it's Kike Hernandez. Kemp is in left. Muncy for the first time this year bats cleanup. Then Puig in right hitting fifth. Cody Bellinger's the first baseman. Logan Forsythe at second. And Austin Barnes had that key walk in the ninth inning. Came in to score the tying run. He catches and bats eighth against Montgomery, who's in the rotation because of the injury to Yu Darvish. And in 4 starts, he's got a 1.14 ERA.
Fantastic off-speed stuff working from him. The changeup, the curveball, the slider. And that's what the Dodgers are going to see an awful lot of. The fastball being hit at an over a 300 clip. But all those off-speed pitches are getting a lot of outs, and easy ones at that. The ball gets hit on the ground more than anybody in the big leagues.
And that off-speed you're talking about, not only is it really good, it's as good as it gets. #1 in the National League among starters with both the changeup and the curveball.
The Dodgers have done pretty well against left-handed starters this year, so this is not something that intimidates them, but they do have a lot of their powerful righties at the top of the lineup. And then you finally get to the powerful lefty and Max Muncy in the 4-hole.
Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Montgomery turns 29 years old in 2 weeks. He's out of Mission Hills, California. Went to Hart High School, where he was high school teammates with Trevor Bauer. Can you imagine that starting rotation?
Eccentric from the right-handed side.
That's for sure.
That's an oddity.
And so the Dodgers at 12-3 to lead the National League in June. Get ready to go. Looking for a doubleheader sweep. The Cubs, well, when you look in big picture, they are one of the hottest teams in the National League. You break it down to the last week or so. They're 3-5 in their last 8 games. So not the best stretch for Joe Maddon's club, who lost a game when scoring more than 2 runs for the first time since May 26th in game 1. Off we go at game 2 on a strike to Chris Taylor. That's absurd. 14 wins in a row when scoring 2.
That's a tip of the cap to their starting pitchers, but also the bullpen that has been lights out until game 1.
And Kyle Farmer. Ball on a strike on Taylor. Some guys just live for those moments, and he seems like he's one of those guys.
And here's his buddy Alex Wood next to him, and the scouting report early on from Alex to Dave Roberts, of course, you're going to really like him. And the last line, and he's clutch.
He's going to visit live with Alana Rizzo in the 4th inning today. Right now it's Chris Taylor on a 2-1, fouling it back 2-2. Yeah, the Dodgers 12-3 in June, as we mentioned, but lately the offense has not been that good. Taylor's been one of the guilty parties. He's 2 for his last 17. He struck out in more than half of those at-bats. Dave Roberts back in the dugout after he was ejected midway through game 1. So is Kemp. So is Grandal. Trip Gibson nowhere to be seen for game 2. Seriously, because it's a doubleheader and the plate umpire gets game 2 off.
I thought you were going to say he got optioned down to AAA.
On a 2-2. Taylor stays alive. We'll do it again.
The thing that wasn't announced before game 1 is that Brandon Morrow was not available because of a stiff back, and that's something the Cubs knew about, but of course they're not going to tell the media or the Dodgers. So when it came to searching for that save, Morrow would have been out there looking for his 17th, but instead he was laid up with a stiff back.
Same thing tonight, unavailable. Taylor corks a base hit to center. On the 7th pitch of the at-bat, opens the night with a single.
Nice piece of hitting, a fastball in. Chris Taylor, such quick hips and hands get drawn in to barrel that ball up the middle.
So the leadoff man out against Montgomery, and one of the hottest Dodger hitters steps up. Kike Hernandez, 3 home runs over his last 5 starts. Kike's got a little bit of pine tar in that helmet, doesn't he? He's always got some, but I think he's well coated. Montgomery's 0-1. Flip to left. Kyle Schwarber. 1 out. As Matt Kemp comes up, we look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. His average is 3rd in the National League at .333, and he's done the most of his damage against left-handed pitchers like Montgomery.
He has been absolutely fantastic. Fountain of youth, new passion for the game, dedication. But what Matt will tell you, yes, I lost a lot of weight, but I am healthy and feeling good.
When it comes to the All-Star talk, which he's very much a part of, he'd be a starter at this point, 3rd among National League outfielders. Cool, he says. It's great, but his focus is on winning games and on playing this game as long as he can. Doesn't at all take it for granted in his 13th year, 33 years old. He can overcome several significant injuries that for a while looked like would kind of be the end to his story. Not that it was going to end his career. Fly ball to center field sends Almora back to the warning track to catch it, but it was looking like that was going to kind of be Matt Kemp's story. A great career. It was really slowed by injuries, period. And now it seems like that is just part of the story. He's kind of writing a new ending to it.
And it could be, considered a second half. You don't know how long he will continue as far as years, but it definitely is a resurgence that will be a footnote or a second half.
2 gone, and Max Muncy for the first time this year hitting cleanup. Lefty on lefty, cuts and misses.
For those of you that saw game 1 or heard about game 1, the wind was really howling in straight away and knocking balls down. It has changed a little bit here. It actually has warmed up a little bit, and the ball might get helped out to right field. The wind has shifted. That ball that Kemp hit to center field, he hits it a little better, actually had a chance. That was not the circumstances in game 1.
The weather has been changing like crazy in these 2 days. 58 degrees first pitch. It was 98 yesterday. Good take from Muncy. Count evens up 1-1. You know what they say around here? If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It will change.
Is that the lake effect usually?
Certainly part of it. Couldn't lay off that time. 1-2.
Max Muncy's power numbers come really when there's a right-hander on the mound, but his batting average much higher when there's a left-hander on the mound.
Taylor at first, 2 out, 1-2 from Montgomery. Gibson swinging, and that's that for the Dodgers in the first. Rich Hill back in the fold when you come back. By Blue Shield. Chris Bryant leads it off for the second time in as many games today. And then Javier Baez with his first start today. Almora's in center. Rizzo bats cleanup and starts at first with Contreras doing the catching. Russell at short, Schwarber in left, and Happ in right. For the first time in exactly 1 month, it's Rich Hill. He's pulled after 2 pitches on May 19th in Washington because of a recurrence of that blister.
Rehab start, 4 2/3, 75 pitches with an uncovered finger, and the blister did not develop. A side work and some catch sessions in between, and here he is with a healthy finger. Of course, the story is how long will it hold up, but even the bigger story, what's the command on the fastball and the breaking ball going to be?
Here it comes to Bryant. The fastball away, 1-0. And I know it was an A-ball rehab outing, but 10 Ks over that 4 1/3.
And it's even more impressive if you watch it that the Ks were in the strike zone, not A-ball hitters chasing.
That's in the strike zone, 1-1 on Bryant.
That's where a lot of scouting is done in the minor leagues when you're going to elevate a pitcher from one level to the next, or even AAA to the big leagues. Are they getting people out in the strike zone? We had a deceptive pitcher's duel in the first game. 4-3, a zillion walks, a zillion guys left on base. The wind blowing in that kept it from being like a 12-10 game.
Yeah. On the corner, 2-2. There were what, 3 or 4 balls that would have been home runs on another day.
Yep. Blasts
in significant parts of the game.
Jock Peterson probably would have had a 2-home-run game instead of the second pitch of the game leaving the yard.
How about a strikeout to start the night for Rich Hill?
Welcome back, Rich Hill. Grizzly Adams, Rich Hill. Some growth out there.
I'm digging the look.
All right.
You?
I like it.
His wife likes it.
Well, that's all that matters.
It's actually a little more trim than it was about a week ago. Kind of gotten a life of its own.
Well, he's getting ready for prime time.
That's right. Got it line. Nice. Javi Baez smashes the first pitch in the air to right. Puig drifts back to the warning track to catch it over the shoulder. 2 up and 2 down on 6 pitches. And Albert Almora. How's the forecast looking for tonight? I know it's kind of been a story throughout the day.
You know, I haven't looked because I was wrong, because it changes like every half hour. So I'll look right now.
First one to Almora is upstairs.
40% at 8 o'clock here local time. 50% at 9 o'clock.
So not great. 1-1.
Every other guy gets a little wet. No, 80%. Sorry, I put my glasses on. 40%, and then it doubles in an hour to 80% at 9, 80% at 10.
I like it better with your glasses off.
Play fast.
2-1. Rich Hill, 38 years old, back in the city where he started his big league career. 4th round pick of the Cubs out of Michigan. Almora, a 1st round pick of the Cubs, one of many that's contributing. Almora was the 1st round pick in 2012. That was 1 year after Javier Baez was their first pick. 1 year before, Chris Bryant was their first pick. The year after Bryant, Schwarber was their first pick, and the year after him, Ian Happ. All those guys in the lineup. 2-2. Not only have they done what you don't see a lot of teams do, and that is cash in year after year, but they've drafted hitters year after year in the 1st round. Had them all pan out.
It's a hard thing to do. Pitchers a little easier to project because of velocity and athleticism. hitters, you don't know if they're going to finally run into a blind spot where a big league pitcher can get them out, or maybe all of a sudden, as the breaking balls get sharper, they end up lost.
Bill thought he had gone back door for strike 3. Has to come back home with a 3-2. Curve again. Ground ball to third. Max Muncy. 1-2-3 return from the disabled list for Rich Hill. Off and rolling in the nightcap, and no score through 1. Against Mike Montgomery in a scoreless game, and we look back on how Carl's scam at game 1 of the championship series last year. Montgomery out of the bullpen. Schwarber to the wall. Thought he had it. Just over the fence, and a home run for Puig.
Yasiel Puig had 7 hits in that series. Batted .389, scored 6 runs.
Take strike 1 from Montgomery. The Dodgers saw 7 times in the National League Championship Series the last 2 years combined, and scored 8 runs in 7 2/3 against him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Today,
sorry, partner.
All you.
Yasiel Puig, a result-oriented hitter, and when you've got good memories of those great results against this guy, that's got to really help him. Dave Roberts talks about so much they encourage him on great approach, but he didn't get results. Hard for him to stay with the process, but that's what he's doing lately.
Dave this morning contrasted that with Justin Turner, who can see the process and may line a ball at somebody, and Justin's going to be okay with that. Puig needs those results, like you're saying. Just how he's wired. 3-1. Dodgers have had the leadoff man on in 7 of the 10 innings today, and Puig, leading off this second, has the #1 on-base percentage in the majors when leading off an inning. And he improves it, getting on base more than half of the time when he leads off an inning.
Wonder how far up the registry that goes for Yasiel, the walk to lead off an inning, as far as getting results. It's probably a little bit more like neutral, I think, for his personality.
Although he runs down that line with some gusto.
Boy, did he do a nice job in game 1 on the pop-up that turned into a double. Broke right out of the box, got himself in scoring position, and got it rewarded with an RBI.
Cody Bellinger, ball 1. To the mound goes Contreras.
Dodger offense in game 1 was a Jock Peterson home run, a Yasiel Puig bloop double, and then Kyle Farmer with 2 outs and 2 strikes with a 4-3 win.
Top 5 wins of the year.
For sure. Ned Colletti said #1.
Wow.
On Twitter.
Recency bias. 1-1.
I'm going to text Ned. Let him know. He's probably listening or watching.
I still think actually the last Rich Hill start, the nightcap of the doubleheader in DC against the Nationals.
Oh yes.
When he left after 2 pitches. That's a little bit low, and it's 2-1.
And on the other side, Scherzer.
Yep. The bullpen was in a bad place. They wound up pitching all 9 innings and getting the win. Kemp, the game-winning hit in the 9th. There were just so many different layers to it. Just beginning this run that is now 22-7. 2-1. Ball 3.
I think Mark Pryor told me that was the first time in Rick Honeycutt's pitching coach career that he did not help warm up the starter. No, he had to. What was the game that happened? Oh, that was the Santana game where Dennis went down with the muscle.
Yeah.
In his and then all of a sudden, Pryor says to me, Honeycutt didn't warm up the starter. His first time in his coaching career.
That wound up being Daniel Hudson that day.
Yep. And Rick was down on the bench figuring out what they were going to do.
Who was going to be the starter 5 minutes before the game.
Yep.
Back-to-back walks to open this inning against Montgomery, who has not issued many of them since moving into the rotation.
He has been tough as nails in the 4 starts that he's gotten. 1 earned run in 3 of the starts. No earned runs in the very first start when he got slotted into the rotation.
Logan Forsythe, 2 on, nobody out. A scoreless second. And Montgomery has been throughout his career pretty vocal about his desire to be a starter. Strike 1 on Forsythe. Cubs got him in a trade from Seattle in 2016. He helped them with a run to the World Series and actually got the save in Game 7. And last year split between the pen and the rotation, similar to this season. He doesn't think, and he says this publicly, that it's a sustainable thing health-wise long term. Forsythe shoots a base hit the other way. They'll go station to station. We get to make sure that it got through. The bases aren't loaded. What do you think? Health-wise, is that a tough thing long term to get shuttled back and forth?
I think it is, because you train to go 90, 110 pitches, and in the bullpen you're not getting that kind of endurance training. Also, I think the weightlifting is completely different. The cardio workouts are different. So yeah, to flip back and forth. But he's done a nice job. Very first start, 5 2/3, 6 innings each of the next 3 starts. So he's given them some distance.
And given them maybe a tough decision when Yu Darvish is ready to come back in a couple weeks. Big spot for Barnes here in the second. He takes strike 1 on a curve. Boston quietly a big piece of that first game with his pinch hit walk in front of the game-winning double from Farmer. One ball, 1 strike.
Now you look at the .210 average from Austin and you go, okay, he's struggling, but then you look at the .357 on base percentage and you say he's contributing.
It's been good against Montgomery. Swings and misses at a curve, 1 and 2.
Austin Barnes is right. You'll see him take a breaking pitch like that and drive it down in the left field corner on the line. He can wear out that left field line when he has to turn on something. And very good to the right center gap when he's in his swing.
Nice stop by Wilson Contreras. The ball that bounced in front of the plate. Puig hangs on at third.
Short of home plate where they softened the dirt for the ground ball specialist, so you have no idea maybe where that one's going.
Bases loaded, second inning. A 2-2. Austin Barnes looks at strike 3 to the outside corner.
Borderline calls. A lot of them didn't go the Dodgers' way in game one, and this one again is a borderline, and it is off the plate. It's about the width of the beginning of the volcano that erupted in the Dodger dugout, where Matt Kemp and David Roberts got ejected. A ball like that to Justin Turner.
Rich Hill with the bases loaded. This would be a good time for Rich Hill to rake. He takes ball one. Also be a good time for him to take a few pitches and if Montgomery can't put him on.
The best thing would be just don't hit into a double play.
Right.
Get Chris Taylor an opportunity.
2-0.
Montgomery searching for it a little bit out there. If he doesn't catch the break with that ball to Austin Barnes away, he's looking like he is reeling. Not much rhythm right here.
Bad time to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable time to be uncomfortable. And he finds his own here.
Serious momentum at stake right here. The Dodgers with the come from behind win in game one with a 2-out 2-strike double from Kyle Farmer. Now bases loaded here early in this game. Got a chance to come out of it with Rich Hill up there right now and Chris Taylor on deck. But if you don't, you feel pretty bad.
Outside 3-1 with nowhere to put him. Got to imagine standing on the mound, you feel 40,000 sets of eyeballs burning through you when you go to a 3-ball count on the opposing pitcher with the bases loaded.
Cub fans are tired of walks too, with Tyler Chatwood starting the first game. It was all over the place.
Oh, Rich Hill down the line, foul. 3-2.
That was a bullet. Drop the head of the bat on it. Slice it down the line. Stride out of the box. Who did that?
Three-two. On the corner, strike three.
I almost thought he was going to scare him out of the strike zone with that line drive foul. Back-to-back strikeouts, almost out of the jam. He's still got to go through Chris Taylor, who got a base hit off of him.
And it's been hidden because they're still winning games, which of course is the bottom line. But the Dodgers now, over their last 5+ games, are 5 for their last 40 with runners in scoring position. It's been hidden because of home runs and good pitching on their part. Change up for a strike.
Brian Gorman has had a wide outside corner so far to right-handed hitters. That ball was outside in my book. Thank you, Pitchcast. Sure was.
Taylor hits a high fly ball to left field, but this will be playable. And the Dodgers leave them loaded in the second. They had them loaded with nobody out. Montgomery's able to put up the 0. Cubs Rocket Mortgage breakdown on Rich Hill, 4th round pick of the Cubs out of Michigan in 2002. Major league debut a few years later when he was just 25 years old, making his first start in place of an injured Kerry Wood. And pitched parts of 4 seasons for the Cubs before heading to Baltimore and starting what has been one heck of an odyssey to get him to where he is in 2018. 14th year, 10th organization. Middle third of the Cubs order, Anthony Rizzo to lead things off. Swings at the first pitch. Skyscraper to center. Kike Hernandez. Four outs on 14 pitches for Rich Hill. He's thrown 7 times as many pitches as he did his last start.
Okay. He's wanting to turn this 2018 season around for him. Of course, the first thing is health, that finger. The next thing is the batting average against, and especially against right-handed hitters.
Wilson Contreras, strike one.
Right-handed hitters last year for Rich Hill hit 190 so far. Coming into this game, they were hitting 325.
Curve wrapped around the plate. That 190 last year, that was one of the best averages against for any left-handed pitcher in the sport. Two and one.
That's the pitch that he's thrown more than any pitch this year in 2018. I think it's because of the blister and the irritation. Ball wants to come out of your hand early, high to the arm side because of the pain you're about to feel. And then the correction can be, all right, I'll hold on to it and I'll push through the consciousness of this pain's coming, and then you hold on to it, you fight through it, but the ball comes out dead and flat as a strike.
That's a walk. First base runner for the Cubs. And he's tried everything. I mean, from dipping the finger in pickle juice to laser therapy more recently. More importantly, lately, he said, was a mechanical adjustment that Rick Honeycutt helped him with, where he's just simply shifted the weight in his back foot from toe to heel and has him more in line, and through a chain of events, he says, is helping the finger. Russell with an opposite field base hit. Contreras gets the hand back in there. 2 on with 1 out.
Yasiel Puig has thrown the ball backdoor there to second base twice on the Cubs today. Once in game 1, it almost worked, and right there it almost worked. He pretty much knows they're not going first to third on him, so realizing that they're going to pull up with a short turn while going to second. He might have to change that up every once in a while so somebody doesn't then deke him.
Kyle Schwarber. Strike one. Schwarber 2 walks in the first game, but is 4 for his last 33. He's got Contreras at second and Russell at first. As Rich Hill delivers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Been a spot where a limited sample size this year has been able to buckle down. A lot of the damage has come off homers. Good stop by Barnes. The highest home run rate in Rich Hill's 14 seasons this year.
If the finger stays healed the rest of the year, it'll be unfair to compare the early part of the season to the healthy part of the season, because just dealing with the fact that he's had to pitch with that blister or irritation on his finger If it can be healthy, you could see a different pitcher.
Nice pitch, 2-2.
First start of the year was his best one.
Yeah, 6 shutout innings.
But then all of a sudden the irritation starts to grow. Good enough for him to pitch, but not good enough for him to pitch effectively, and has been fighting it ever since.
18 runs in 19 innings since. First and second, one out at 2-2, and Schwarber fouls it off. Similar to last year, hopefully, right? I mean, he had the first 2 months slowed by the same issues. Mid-June last year, he had an ERA above 5. The final 3.5 months, he led the National League in ERA. Two again. Drops down, just misses.
Sweet looking pitch. Delivery was very deceptive. The location was solid and just missed. Looking for a generous outside corner right there.
I think they've run out of them today. Curveball rolled gently to second. Forsythe feeds Taylor on to first, not in time.
A superb feed from Logan Forsythe to charge that ball, and then the backhand flip quick, knowing the only chance you have to get two is if you go for the aggressive style of this ground ball. Yeah, you can lay back and kind of overhand it over there, record one out. But if you charge it and go backhand flip quickly out of the glove, that's the risky exchange, and it almost worked.
First and third, 2 out. Ian Happ. You know, as bad as the Dodgers have been in these situations lately, the Cubs left 13 on themselves in the first game. You lose by 1 run. That's a hard number to look at. 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Curve got in on Happ, ball and a strike. Ian Happ, one of those first-round picks we were talking about, the most recent of the bunch to make it to the bigs. Debuted last May. 24 home runs in 115 games. Still only 23 years old in his second big league year. On this 1-1, swings and misses at a fastball, 1-2.
The two places you can critique this Cubs team are the all or nothing offense, and then the 1-run games. They're now 6-12 in 1-run games, and that's with an outstanding bullpen.
And you know what's behind both of those issues is a season-long problem with runners in scoring position. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Happ.
In Joe Maddon's post-game sound after game 1, he was talking about runners in scoring position as an industry problem because of the new approach of hitting. But they are trying to get the ball moving more. Not looking for elevation and launch angle, but trying to help his young hitters realize the professional at-bats that are needed with runners in scoring position, and that modern swing and approach doesn't always work.
Hill trying to pitch out of a jam. He misses away, and the count is full on Happ. And he scored a second inning. Dodgers trying to sweep this doubleheader and make it 10 consecutive series in a row without a defeat. A series defeat, that is. Hill's payoff pitch. Curveball in the hands, over first. Bellinger can't quite get there.
Outstanding effort. A first baseman that can track it down like a center fielder, and he almost does. He breaks, he turns, and he dives just out of the reach. first few steps, he's afraid that ball might land in fair territory. After he gets on that angle chasing the ball, he's like, just catch it.
Eighth pitch coming from Hill to Happ. 3-2. Curve. Ball 4.
Curveball last year. Rich Hill in the second half caught a few of those at the top of the strike zone. That one was a little bit high.
And Mike Montgomery comes up in the same situation that Hill was up against him first time around. Bases loaded situation. And Hill made his heart stop. Working it to a 3-ball count, then slashing a line drive down the line just foul before striking out. Strike 1. One and 1. Strike 2.
Rich Hill's success last year with his fastball was built around the combination with the curve, because it's not velocity or movement, 88 to 90 and pretty straight, but it's relationship and how the fastball curveball combination makes hitters hesitate when he throws the heater.
Down the line just like Hill did, not quite as straight, but make a hard stop for a split second.
Do you throw the breaking ball down low, trust Austin Barnes with bases loaded and the pitcher up, or do you just stick with the fastball?
Stuck with a fastball. Hill, the bare hand, flips on to first to get him. We're through at 2 innings. And because of this play, still no score.
Just don't get a blister with this play. Very nice. Stripling gives us an inside look at his off-the-field passion for stockbroking. Plus, Cody and Kike make a surprise visit to the family of a fallen U.S. Navy sailor. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Back in Chicago, no scores. We go to the third. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, and Alana Rizzo. Dodgers won the first game today 4-3 in dramatic fashion. Kyle Farmer's pinch hit 2-run double with the Dodgers down to their final strike. So far in this one, almost identical starts for the two teams. Quiet first, leaving the bases loaded in the second on both sides.
Runners in scoring position in the first game was a troubling factor, and it looks like it's starting to look like that again. Dodgers 2 for 14 RISP in the first game and 2 for 12 from the Cubs. And when Joe Maddon had that sound postgame about industry-wide problem, he even spotted the Dodgers in that whole game, not just the Cubs.
Hernandez leading it off. Taking strike one. What about the current state of the game leads to issues in those situations?
I don't know if it's the fact that pitchers know where to go in those holes, so you get more pop-ups and more strikeouts because they're elevating the fastball, and all of a sudden you're just, you're not using the right swing to get the ball through the infield or hitting a line drive. I'm scared to like get out on a limb and talk about something without the numbers to back me up now. The eye test is not the complete test anymore. We've got solid numbers on approaches and what leads to runs.
That's a bullet into center and a leadoff hit for Hernandez. I love that you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Scared to.
Well, it's not a fear as much as you just don't want to step out and give a black and white opinion, and sure. I don't want to sound so old school with my head in the sand. It's like my head's not in the sand, but it is frustrating to watch, I'll tell you that.
Matt Kemp hit it well his first time, but was caught in center field on the edge of the warning track. Dodgers now have had the leadoff man on in all 3 innings in game 2. They've had the leadoff man on in 9 of the 12 innings total today. Chase 0-2. I've heard Joe Maddon talk about, just kind of back to the topic that you were on. He doesn't think that guys learn 2-strike approach high enough on the priority list anymore. And the residue of that is poor runners in scoring position hitting. Poor situational hitting. He says that good situational hitting is a residue of having a good 2-strike approach.
I think that's a good foundation to launch from. A good 2-strike approach also can keep you out of long, deep slumps. I mean, it's like a pitcher that has, solid fastball command and can always come back to that one foundational pitch if it's a fastball away or a fastball in. So even when the secondary stuff is not working, he can still compete.
Still 1-2 on Kemp. 2-strike hitting was a big problem for the Dodgers a couple years ago. They're one of the worst teams in baseball with 2 strikes, and so that's become an organizational philosophy. An organizational focus is improving in that regard, and they really have.
When Turner Ward came over to the Dodgers, he gave a presentation to the team on 2-strike approach, and I was in the room.
Fly ball to right field that sends Happ back. And again, Kemp is flying to the edge of the warning track. Hernandez thought about testing. Happ with a strong throw, and back to first goes Kike.
I was surprised in that presentation to find out that 50%, approximately 50% of every hitter in your lineup and your whole team will be with 2 strikes at some point during the year. 50% of your at-bats. you will be finishing them off either without 2 strikes or with 2 strikes. So moving your average up, with 2 strikes is really significant to how a team is going to hit and how an individual is going to hit.
1 on 1 out for Muncy. Ball 1. Strikeout his first time. And Muncy's entered a bit of a slump. Hitless in his last 12 at-bats. Still getting on base with the walks. He's ahead here, 2-0. It's a good article today on MLB.com from Mike Petriello on Max Muncy and what's behind his turnaround. Similar plate discipline, similar patience that he's always had, but more confident now. With that confidence has come the ability to attack pitches and drive the ball. Here he's ahead 3-0.
Last April released by the Oakland A's, and he's home at his old field with his dad every day working on a swing. His dad throwing him batting practice, tinkering with the hands one day, the stance the next. He tinkered his way back into professional ball, and now look where he's at.
3 balls, 1 strike, and he said, yeah, just tinker is the right word. Just tiny little tweaks here and there that basically had him in a better position in his setup. So in a better position to be aggressive once he got those pitches to hit. Hitters count here. A walk. 3rd one issued by Montgomery, and the Dodgers find themselves with another opportunity. Comes the pitching coach Jim Hickey. You know, Muncy in the minors in 2013 hit 25 home runs. So it's not like this is a completely new thing, the power, where he's hit 13 home runs to lead the club this year. But he's gotten back to that swing. Went back and watched some video while he was going through the tweaks last year, trying to recapture some of those things. But he keeps on bringing up the word confidence. So there are the mechanical tweaks, but the confidence to really cut a swing loose and barrel a ball up, he thinks, is the main reason that he's putting together the kind of year that he is.
I think I remember him saying, or it was in the article, about unlocking his swing. Because it wasn't a huge change about seeing the ball or understanding what a strike was compared to a ball, but unlocking it and really being able to barrel the ball up. Almost like you're trying to pick a lock. It's such a fine difference between, oh, that door's still locked, or, oh, I found my way in.
Right, just kind of wiggling the key a little bit, wiggling
the locksmith finds a way.
2 on 1 out, and the hitter is Puig, who walked his first time. Here he looks at a strike.
Isn't that frustrating, though? You go to the hardware store to get some new keys made, come home, and the grind is just slightly off. You got to go back. It's that frustrating for hitters, too. I got to go back to the cage.
One pitch taken low. Now Puig mentioned the walk the first time. A nice take there to get the count even at 1-1. One of the big things for him lately has been his ability to take more pitches. Chase rate was above major league average the first couple months. Way down here in June. And another example of it.
He has changed his MO. Meaning our memory of Yasiel Puig is aggressive and losing patience sometimes, but not when he's hot.
Another borderline pitch that he's able to lay off, and he finds himself in the driver's seat at 3-1. Colonel Ward will tell you that this is Yasiel Puig at his best when he's taking those borderline pitches. On a 3-1, he takes it at the bottom of the zone, full count.
Mentality at the plate seems like it's making him get the ball up, because everything has been down below the knee or at the knee. He is just spit on.
And for good reason, right? Montgomery, the #1 ground ball rate in the majors. Doesn't have a ground out tonight, though. Hernandez at second, Muncy at first, and Puig off the end of the bat into center, hangs up for Almora.
Yasiel got the height he's been looking for, just not the width. That ball was off the plate away, and he'd like to have that swing back. It's in the left-hand batter's box. Good discipline throughout, just not on the last pitch.
So with 2 out, it's Cody Bellinger. Takes a strike. Oh, 0-2. Got him swinging. Dodgers today are 4 for 35 with runners on base. And still no score, so we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser. Rich Hill's first start off of the disabled list. He breezed through that first inning. Had to work out of a bases loaded jam in the second. What have you thought so far?
You know what? I've really liked what I've seen out there. Athletic, confident, but I think the second time around in the lineup, which is coming up right here, he's going to have to get the curveball going. Fastball at about 70% strikes, curveball 50-50. And when you've already seen a guy and you know he can't get strikes as often as he'd like with the curveball, they might sit on the fastball.
Missed with a curve to open the inning against Chris Bryant, which begins the second trip through this Cubs order. And now misses with a fastball, and it's 2-0. Strike one. Joe made that athletic play, lunging after one with his bare hand, but finished the bases loaded situation in the first. 2-2. It's become kind of a fun thing watching Rich Hill hit and how serious he takes it. But you know, as a high school senior, he was the league MVP partially because of his offense. He hit 9 home runs as a senior in high school. I know it's high school and everybody hits home runs, but 9 of them, you're not just lucking into that, no matter the level. He was also an all-state golfer.
Athletic ability, eye-hand coordination. And you get to a level where everybody's as good as you, and some even get better in certain areas.
Delivers 2-2. Bryant, center field. Hernandez trying to find it. He's got a read on it. Wow.
MLB at Bat is your #1 Dodger app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Dodgers home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Javier Baez with the bases empty, 1 out. Fly to right his first time. Rich, pretty athletic bloodlines too. His dad Lloyd, college football player at Brown. Lloyd now 89 years young. Had Rich when he was 51.
God bless him.
It's the last of Lloyd and Peggy's 5 kids. But a decade and a half younger than the next youngest. Rich is. Fires an 0-2, and Baez swats it to right center. Puig on the move to cut it off and make the catch. And 2 away here in the third.
Yasiel sniffing the ball right there. What a great route. And if he keeps making catches like this, he's going to get back in the Gold Glove running again. Very nice. Much appreciated from Rich Hill.
He can wag his finger like that at a guy who plays the game with some flair himself defensively, and Javier Baez, who I'm sure appreciated that play. Strike one on Albert Almora. Almora grounded to third his first time. Top 5 hitter in the National League so far this year, a .322 average. And on an 0-1 pitch, fouls a curveball.
Rich Hill is starting to find the range on that breaking ball. Didn't look like it to Chris Bryant, the first hitter of this inning, but as this inning has continued, throw a few for strikes.
Elmore reaches out, slaps it softly to Forsythe. That's a 1-2-3 third for Hill. And when we come back, the hero from game one, Kyle Farmer, joins Alana Rizzo live from the Dodger dugout. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. Alana's with Kyle Farmer, brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. The hero of game one of this doubleheader. And Kyle, how do you take the pressure and the situation out of the moment, knowing what you're up against, and just concentrate on the at-bat?
You know, baseball is probably 90% mental, and you know, you got to remember the pressures on the pitcher as well in that situation. So I just go out there with a clear mind and try and see a good pitch to hit.
When you're able to do that and you drive into with the double there, you have a little bit of emotion at second base, as everybody would. How long does it take for your heart rate to come down?
It's still up right now. Gosh, I don't really show much emotion, but I decided to show a little bit, I guess, to get Jock going too. He's always throwing his hands up, so I decided to throw something back at him. But it's a very emotional moment, and I was just happy to see the boys in the dugout happy too.
Oh, Logan Forsythe.
Into the gap in right center, up against the wall, Alana. That's a leadoff double.
You realize that you're going to have to stay here the entire time of this inning, with Logan Forsythe being able to do that with a leadoff double.
I'll do whatever it takes to get him some runs.
You know, and you continue to say that, Kyle, because you're such a humble guy, but you're such a team player, continuing to do whatever it takes. You just said, I'll go wherever they want me to go. What is it about that moment we asked you earlier today that you're able to come through in such clutch situations when you don't get a ton of at-bats, but you seem to capitalize on the ones you do get?
You just got to pretend that you've been in the game the whole game. That's the piece of advice that I've asked, like Chase and guys like that who've been around the game a long time. How do you approach a pitch hitting situation? He's like, you just got to stay locked in the game and pretend that it's your third or fourth at bat of the game. And once again, I mean, these guys have been around for so long, and you just pick their brains with what they have, and that really helps.
You have somewhat of a guess of, as a pinch hitter, bench guy in this type of situation, when you might come in, who you might face, kind of like a reliever does, knowing the opposition of who they might face. At what point do you start getting ready for that situation, especially when two guys get ejected in that game?
Pitch hitting is, ooh.
See, this is good.
Another drive into the gap, but this one is caught by Hack. Head to the third. On Farmer's command is Forsythe.
You know, it's sorry, what was the question?
No, when do you, I know there's a lot going on here. When do you start getting ready in a situation like that, particularly when two guys get ejected in that game?
Just watching. I mean, pitch hitting is one of the hardest things to do in all of baseball. Any baseball player will ask, because you're coming out cold. I mean, you watch the game in the locker room, in the dugout, and seeing when your spot's coming up. But I mean, it's almost more stressful than starting, honestly, because you don't know when you're going to go in, who you're going to face. And but you know, we got good coaching staff here. You know, Brownie and Turner take us in the tunnel and flip us some, and we're just ready for whatever.
A high level of stress, yet you have a high level of success and productivity. Kyle, thank you so much for your time. We always appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
All right, great stuff, Alana. Thanks to Kyle for taking some time out. So Rich Hill bats with a man at 3rd and 1 out. And falls behind 0-2. Chased here, 2 out. No better guy than Kyle Farmer. It's always good to see the good guys have good things happen to them, as he does time and time again when put into those tough spots, those big spots. Still very frustrated with that at bat as Forsythe remains down at 3rd, and up comes Taylor with 2 out.
Frustrating even for pitchers when they're hitting and you hit with a man on 3rd and less than 2 outs. And Rich Hill has had that twice, once with the bases loaded and once here with a man on 3rd and less than 2 outs. So I just hope that frustration doesn't end up on the mound, taking you out of your rhythm there.
No swing, ball 1. Speaking of frustration and taking that elsewhere, did you hear the breaking news from San Francisco about Hunter Strickland?
I did not.
Punched a door after blowing a save last night and is going to miss significant time. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's going to actually undergo surgery, 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow. Broken hand, finger.
Fractured his pitching hand.
Oh my gosh.
For giving up 3 runs in the 9th to the Marlins. That's the Giants closer, Hunter Strickland, who had been having a great year. 2-1 on Taylor. Hard hit, but the shortstop Russell has it, and the Dodgers down in the 4th.
Join T-Mobile in showing appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
The Chicago Cubs during a 4-game series, Monday, June 25th through Thursday, June 28th. It's their first matchup at home at Dodger Stadium since the Dodgers finished them off in Game 5 of the NLCS here at Wrigley. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
7 games in 10 days between the teams, and then they're done, at least for the regular season. Rich Hill with strike 1 on Anthony Rizzo. A 1-2-3 first and a 1-2-3 third. Sandwiching a bit of a bumpy second where Hill was able to get out of a bases loaded jam.
Second time around the order, Rich Hill's got him 0 for 3 during the year. Second time around the order, second plate appearances, batters hitting .385, doing a number on him so far.
Good form. Rizzo, 28 years of age, was once traded for Adrian Gonzalez. Drafted by the Red Sox originally. He went to San Diego in the Gonzalez deal. Hill gets him with a sharp curve. Rizzo arguing that that hit the dirt before Austin Barnes squeezed it. Home plate umpire Brian Gorman says
Outstanding curveball. Look at the target down there by Austin Barnes, and look where Rich Hill puts it. Fantastic placement, change of speeds, deep break.
And he's now retired 5 in a row as Rizzo heads slowly back into the dugout. And Wilson Contreras comes up. His walk in the second, the only one that Hill's issued. Contreras, 26-year-old catcher that debuted during the World Championship season 2016. Took over as the primary catcher in their run to the postseason. Watches a curve curl in for a strike 1-1. A former third baseman. She wasn't a catcher until 2012. And it came out of boredom. Chopper to short. Chris Taylor was during instructional leagues one day. He was off as a third baseman and saw the catcher's gear laying on the floor. Decided to put it on and lumber out to the bullpen just for fun, just messing around. And the scouting director happened to see him. Said, "Hey, Wilson, you actually want to give that a try? I think you might be pretty good at it." Wilson loves baseball. Said he'll do anything. Sure, I'll give it a try. Put him in the 6th inning that day, and the rest is history. Addison Russell, strike 1. He's turned into a guy. Joe Madden has said that if he was starting a team from scratch, Wilson Contreras would be the catcher that he'd choose. Went out of his way to say that. And granted, there's some bias there. It's his own catcher, but didn't have to say that. Quickly 0-2. One and two. Russell has the only hit for the Cubs in this one. Single in the second. Since that hit, Hill has retired 8 in a row. Fly ball to right field. Puig has a beat on it and makes the catch going away. A 12-pitch 4th for Rich Hill. Still no scores. We march along to the 5th. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. It's Toyota's Red, White, and You sales event. Celebrate your independence with a great deal on a new Camry. See that man in the top hat there? That is Alexander Cartwright, who is known as the father of baseball. And on this date, June 19th, 1846, they played what is considered the first baseball game in Hoboken, New Jersey. This Knickerbocker Club, which is what Cartwright was in charge of, was a group of Manhattan office workers, came up with a set of rules, that 20 rules that were the foundation for what we now know as baseball. Kike Hernandez to lead off in a scoreless fifth inning, taking ball one from Mike Montgomery. For 5 years, that was pretty much it. The Knickerbockers' exclusive game. You know, they had little groups that they would play around town, but no real rivalry, no real competition. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is until baseball started to blow up in Brooklyn. So 1846, the first game was played. For the mid-50s, there were a bunch of teams across Brooklyn. So Hernandez works ahead of the count. By one count, 10 years after the sport was invented, there were 71 organized teams in Brooklyn, and just 25 in Manhattan, which was the birthplace of baseball. Foul back 2-2. At this point, there was this big all-star series where the 75 clubs from Brooklyn, they challenged the 25 clubs in Manhattan to a best-of-3 series. They took the best players from all the clubs in Brooklyn, played the best players from all those clubs in Manhattan, and played a big series at a race course on Long Island. Full count. That was the very first game to charge admission. 50 cents a ticket. Sponsors were so confident in the buzz surrounding the game that there were sponsorships on the game. Baseball continued to grow in Brooklyn. Obviously, the genesis for the Dodgers. 3-2. Hernandez lines the ball to center field. Then Almora comes on to catch one out. Now, for Mike Montgomery, who has been very good since moving into the rotation, 4 more zeros tonight, but getting it done a little bit differently. Guy that has the #1 ground ball rate in baseball has gotten just 1 ground out tonight.
His best off-speed pitch has been his changeup. He's been throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, but after that, a lot of nibbling. He has built his pitch count to 81.
And Kemp, there's a ground ball. Easy one for Russell. 2 up, 2 down.
16 out of 21 first pitch strikes from Montgomery, and that one records an out.
It's 5 straight for him. And here's Muncy. One and 0. One and 1. Digs that one out. Up the middle, Baez from short center. Shows off his stuff. That's what they expect around here from Javier Baez. And another 1-2-3 inning for Mike Montgomery. We're halfway home. Brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. We kind of joked around that the first game was a bit of a pitcher's duel, but largely because of the win. This one legitimately has been a pitcher's duel between Hill and Montgomery.
Rich Hill has been really good. 6 outs ago for him, I said he needed to get his curveball going. Well, he has done that. It was at about a 50% strike rate then. The last 12 he's thrown, 10 of them for strikes.
Yeah, strike one to open this 5th inning against Kyle Schwarber. First it was Maeda coming back last week. Now Rich Hill. Fly ball to left center field. Easy play for Kike Hernandez. Sounds like it'll be Clayton Kershaw before too long. Then you're going to have Walker Buehler at some point. Hyun-Jin Ryu at some point. Julio Urias at some point. Ian Happ with one gone.
A very encouraging start here from Rich Hill. We haven't had a close-up of his finger, but he surely has not been looking down at it. And his ability to throw strikes with both pitches tells me it's holding up quite well.
Perfectly placed. Strike one on Happ. You had an interesting theory, I thought, off of the top of the show, that the blister Hill has said was probably the deepest one that he's had. And if it is indeed healed, that may be the best thing that's happened to him, that it was the deepest one that he's had.
The foundation of all those layers of skin.
Another strikeout.
Instead of having thin layers that are each getting irritated and all of a sudden he gets down to where it's too painful to continue, it was completely ripped off down to where it was like a wound, not just a blister. And so it had to heal from the ground up, and that might be giving it a lot more strength. And then with all the different treatments that they've experimented with, they found one that they kind of doubled and tripled up on, which was the laser treatment. It really started to toughen up his finger. It's been long enough and hard enough. They have looked and searched for everything to make it work. Maybe they've found out now that they have a strong foundation all the way down to where it's bleeding, and then maybe the correct therapies for every particular guy probably has his own formula, what helps their skin.
He strikes out Montgomery, and Rich Hill has that look about him, doesn't he? Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. and by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Still no scores. This game goes to the 6th inning. Puig coming up. How about this? How about a Puiggy Bank? How cool does that sound? June 30th, when the Rockies are in town, first 40,000 fans are going to get a Puiggy Bank.
I think that's pretty clever. I'm definitely going to try and get one.
It's presented by Bank of America. And Saturday, June 30th, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. I bet you might even get more than one.
See how nice they are and see where they are on eBay.
Oh, what the going rate is?
Exactly.
Try and flip them?
No, I'm not going to try and flip them. Looks like a pretty good stocking stuffer.
Mike Montgomery just executed the first 1-2-3 inning against the Dodgers today, and on one pitch he gets the first out of the 6. Started to get the ground balls working, which is a little more like you expect when Montgomery's pitching. 4 of the last 5 outs have been ground outs after he went the first 3 2/3 without one. Cody 1 for his last 15, 9 strikeouts. 11-1. One and one.
He's back to the flat bat and then timing it as it comes upright. He's got the same stance, little spread out stance, flex knees, not as upright with the lower body, but the bat was back down there close to the numbers. And now bringing it back up to time the launch. Was trying to eliminate and simplify a lot of the movements with his hands and his lower body to be more consistent. It may be because of what you just read about the 1 for 17 with 9 Ks. Going back to another style.
I don't recall seeing, is this the first at bat that we could be wrong on that, but first at bat today he's done that?
It might be. I think, you know, it really shocked me when all of a sudden I saw it. So
full count.
We've just seen him a lot stiller, and the stillness has been from the hand position and the bat position. Now he's got the waggle back and it's on a flat plane before he brings it up to where he likes to let it go.
He takes the walk, his second of the day, and the Dodgers have a 1-out base runner.
It's a game of adjustments, and you continue to make them. And what makes you feel comfortable? You see Goodell start to loosen. Rich Hill scheduled to be the 5th hitter in this inning. Now 2 batters in. He's 3 away.
With Logan Forsythe, who is 2 for 2 in this one, coming up. With that last swing of his, we were visiting with Kyle Farmer, so didn't get a chance to hear you break it down, but that was as good a looking swing I thought as we've seen from him in a while. Ball 1.
It sure was. And to drive the ball to that part of the field. Most of Logan's hits lately where you've really liked his approach and his aggressiveness have gone to the pull side.
Last 7 games quietly, Forsythe is hitting .400. One on, one out, 1-0, ball 2.
Seems like we toggle back and forth on who's hot and who's not. And as long as we toggle to the who's hot side and there's enough guys, that's going to keep the offense functioning. Early in the season, it was Grandal and Kemp and hope for Turner to get back soon.
That doesn't have quite the same ring as Spawn Insane and Pray for Rain.
It doesn't. Unfortunately, it didn't last as long.
That's true too. Forsyth ahead 2-0. Here comes Montgomery. Popped up. Right field. Ian Happ. And it's Barnes with 2 gone. Justin Turner into the on-deck circle. That is in the pitcher's spot. Eric Goodell continues to warm. Chills at 72 pitches.
75 and 4 2/3 in his A-ball rehab start. Finger, and he held up real well in that one. You'd think they could push him somewhere around 90, 95 if they wanted to, but it'd also be fun to get him up the tunnel.
Bellinger runs and no throw from Contreras. And in a scoreless game in the 6th, Bellinger moves into scoring position with 2 out.
It's a big stolen base. Just to finish the thought on Rich Hill, it'd be great to get him up the tunnel feeling good and healthy. This is a really good thing for the Dodger rotation to get him back and throwing the ball well.
1 hit over 5 shutout innings tonight. Barnes takes low. There's a throw down to second, which Wilson Contreras does more than any catcher in baseball. Bellinger was ready for it. Barnes ahead 2-1. Montgomery's 99th pitch is a 2-1. Barnes hits a ground ball, base hit to left. Bellinger's headed home. The throw to the plate is not in time. Austin Barnes breaks the tie with a 2-out single in the 6th.
Adjustments at the plate by Cody Bellinger lead to a walk. The Volkswagen replay leads to the Austin Barnes base hit. And with Cody on second after that key stolen base and it grounding through the infield slow enough for Bellinger's wheels to score the first run of the game.
Put himself into scoring position with a stolen base, and Barnes cashes in. And Rich Hill gets to bat for himself. Drags a bunt up along first. Montgomery feeding just in time. Gave it a ride as far as bunt hits go. The Dodgers have broken the scoreless tie with a 2-out hit from Austin Barnes. on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. We're back in Chicago, one of the great cities. Dodgers in front 1-0. Finally cracking through here in the 6th inning. And Rich Hill to the mound. It looked like he may come out if the situation had called for it, but at just 72 pitches, Dave Roberts more than happy to send him back out there, pitching with the lead.
And he needs to show some discipline out there on the mound and make sure that he catches his wind after that bunt for a hit attempt, sprinting down to first, having to come out and warm up. Don't throw any pitch until you got your heart rate under control and your full concentration. 1-0 game. Don't have any excuses or regrets at the end of this one because you weren't ready for this inning.
Especially with the guys coming up that the Cubs have. Bryant, Baez, Almora. Here we go with the 6th. Strike one. The Cubs, since the 4th inning of game 1, when they had a 3-1 lead, have gone 3 for their last 33. That's about half bullpen, half Rich Hill. There's 1-1 pitch. Strike two.
He's gotten better the longer he's been out there, Rich Hill, with the combination of the fastball and the curveball. First couple innings, erratic. 40 pitches to get through 2. The last 3 only 32 pitches, so down about 10 pitches an inning.
Got him swinging with a curve. Strikeout number 5 for Rich Hill. 1 away in the 6th.
He has K'd Bryant twice now. The other at bat, a fly out the center. That one a nice curveball underneath the swing of Kris Bryant.
He's retired 11 in a row. And giving up just 1 hit. Javier Baez. Smacks a bunt up along first. That's a hit.
The last 3 batters we've seen 2 bunt attempts, one by Rich Hill where he did not outrun the ball. Well, Baez outruns that ball by a mile, and that's when you know it's going to be a hit. Rich Hill makes a gallant attempt at this ball and this throw, then pays the price.
First base runner for the Cubs since the 2nd inning. And the 3-hitter Albert Almora due up. Austin Barnes is going to go buy some time. Number 1 for the bullpen to continue to get ready, but number 2 for Rich to get his breath back.
Rich to get his breath back, or for Dave Roberts to give the bullpen a little bit more time before they make a change.
Goodell had sat down. He's back up.
Shouldn't take him long to get ready. He could be ready for this hitter with a long, slow walk. If they give him 1 more hitter, he'll definitely be ready for the next hitter.
Strike one. Baez this season 12 steals and 13 tries. Barnes behind the plate for the Dodgers has not been as good as Grandal at controlling the running game. He'll try to do his part.
Austin has worked tirelessly on his release and his accuracy. The arm strength is there, but he's been grinding on the footwork.
Nothing in 2.
Very confident Rich Hill on the mound. 1-0 game. First start back in a long time. Not backing down from pitching for the team right now.
Ground ball to third. Muncy goes to second. 1. Forsythe to first late. Mora barely beats it out.
I say Rich Hill is pitching for the team because a lot of guys with what he has been through and been as successful as he has been today, they'll start looking over their shoulder to the bullpen like, I've done my job, get somebody else out here. Almost gets the Dodgers in the dugout with that ground ball.
Instead has to face Anthony Rizzo, who is 0 for 2 today. Hitless in his career against Hill. 1-0, 6th inning. Anthony Rizzo looks at strike 1 as Hill drops down and has looked pretty effective the few times he's done that tonight.
Both times he's dropped down tonight, it's been the heater. Once away for a ball, but it was borderline, and that one was a nice pitch to steal a strike with. Not only changing the arm angle, but changing the pacing of when he comes set and how quick he goes to the plate, or if he goes high leg kick to deceive the runner and to hold the running game intact, or delay enough to get the hitter to start early. For a guy who's been out for a while, he sure is going full metal jacket as far as all the different deliveries and arm angles, and confident in what the pitch selection could be and should be.
This is inside, 2-1. That's what I was saying. He's kind of got that look about him that when he's at his very best, he has. So entertaining to watch.
Through the DL time, he would sarcastically say, oh yeah, this is fun, getting a check every 1st and 15th on the DL. Are you kidding me? I want to compete.
Look at that curveball. 2-2.
It was his way of venting and putting some humor in the situation, but he was totally frustrated not being able to help the team. Felt terrible to be collecting a paycheck and being on the DL because of a blister. But there was nothing he could do until they figured out a way to fix it.
That thing was right on the knuckles. And it stays at 2-2 on Rizzo.
Rich Hill does not look like he is on fumes, but he is definitely on a short leash. 85 pitches, 75 in the rehab start, only 4 2/3. Now we are an inning deeper than that rehab start.
Down the line, base hit. Mora's headed for third. Puig's throw not close to in time. Cubs at the corners with 2 out.
Dropped down and went breaking ball, and Rizzo did a very nice job staying with it. In game 1, Libator got him to chase a ball over there in the right-hand batter's box. That one not quite as wide.
And instead of Dave Roberts, it's Rick Honeycutt coming out. So they're going to let, it appears, Rich Hill face Wilson Contreras with a tying run at third and the potential go-ahead run at first.
How do you feel? How's your finger look? Well, you get those 2 questions answered the right way, go to a strategy talk. And you say, come on, big fella, let's get him out.
Well, these are the kinds of moments that when you're making those sarcastic comments while you're on the DL that you yearn to be back in, right? Perhaps your final batter of the night, your decision hanging in the balance with a tying run 90 feet away, right back in the arena, right back where he wants to be. Ball one.
Can't let your mind wander. Play mind games with yourself and totally block out results and think about execution.
1-1.
If this happens, I'd be so frustrated. If this happens, I'm going to feel awesome. You can't be thinking that way. Whatever thought comes into your mind that makes you better and hits your spot, that's the one you want.
Curveball grounded wide of the back, 1-2.
With the first three pitch selections, I would say that they like the curveball to Contreras. They've thrown 3 in a row. Mora almost got the third one.
You sticking with it?
Trust Austin Barnes, because you don't want to throw one for a strike. After 3, you want to bounce it.
Curve through the back door, strike 3. 2 hits over 6 shutout innings for Rich Hill. Welcome back, Rich Hill. Dodger calendar. One more between these teams tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. Team then flies to New York, spends the off day in the Big Apple Thursday, plays 3 with the Mets over the weekend, and goes back to Dodger Stadium for a 4-game series with these Cubs. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In and Out. The night ends for Mike Montgomery, and Anthony Bass comes on.
Called up from Iowa on June 11th, has pitched well since being called up. Opponent's batting average at .444, but he's somebody that they trust in this situation. They have a lot of pieces down in that bullpen that have thrown the ball well.
Top of the order for the Dodgers. Taylor, Hernandez, and Kemp trying to add on to this 1-0 lead. Taylor takes ball 1. down for 3 tonight with a single. The lone run coming last inning on a 2-out hit from Austin Barnes. One and one. Bass is 30 years old. Broke into the majors way back in 2011 when he was just 23 with the Padres. Spent parts of a few years in San Diego. A year in Houston, a year with Texas, a year in Japan, back to Texas, and now in his first year with the Cubs. Home with a 1-2. Ball 2. Chris Taylor starting the 7th with a ground ball up the middle. Baez stops it but has no play. Second hit of the night for Taylor, and the leadoff man on again. It's been a story all day for the Dodgers. I believe 12 of the 16 innings today leadoff man has been on.
Hits, walks, and hit by pitches.
How about Rich Hill tonight?
Absolutely fantastic.
Hernandez caught at first, a double play. What a play by Anthony Rizzo.
Heads up in a few different ways. Reaction of the bat and the line drive, and then not reaching for the bag with his feet. I think they would have been late. So he just continues on as he comes down from the jump and takes the glove down to the bag. He would have never made it back with his feet, but with the glove he does.
This is the top defensive team in baseball, and Anthony Rizzo is a big part of that, stabilizing force at first. 2 out, bases empty. Matt Kemp, strike 1.
In some ways, he plays first base like Yasiel plays right. It's very casual for the routine things, but when he needs to be exceptional, he is locked in.
Very likely the final line for Rich. On 2-1, Matt Kemp chops it foul. 2-2. Kemp 0 for 6 in the 2 games combined today. Bass gets him to chase. Cubs bring up the minimum in the 7th, and we stretch in a 1-0 game. Goodell, spotless since coming over from the Seattle Mariners, is on to handle the bottom of the 7th.
And he can continue on to 15 spotless appearances to start a Dodger career. He would tie Steve Wilson. He did that back in '91 and '92.
He's got a new left fielder, Jock Peterson, on for Matt Kemp. After the 6 shutout innings for Rich Hill. Addison Russell, 6, 7, and 8 for the Cubs. And a good day for Russell. 2 hits, 2 walks when you combine the 2 games. A 4-3 win for the Dodgers in game 1. A 1-0 lead for the Dodgers in game 2. The bullpen tries to play a big part of the story again. 5 1/3 shutout innings in that first game. And now 21 1/3 in a row scoreless. Goodell to Russell with a 1-0. Line to left center field. Hernandez.
Rich Hill in his return was absolutely fabulous. It was a combination of his fastball and his curveball. When he went about his business out there, he needed to get that secondary pitch going, and you see the last 23 curveballs, 19 for strikes that carried him to the end of his night.
You were talking about that after that rocky first or second inning where the Cubs loaded the bases against him. He had put up 2 zeros, but it still at that point felt like it could go either way. As Kyle Schwarber comes up and turns on one. Right field, tie game.
No doubter, they're going high fastball, and he looks ready for it. And he knows it as soon as he hits it, even with the wind blowing. But right down the line, it's kind of helping the ball, not knocking it down completely here at Wrigley.
So Rich Hill will have to settle for no decision. Goodell gives up his first run as a Dodger and now drops in a strike to Ian Happ.
It stings right now for Goodell, but boy, what he has done as a Dodger in these first 13 appearances has been nothing short of miraculous. He's been fantastic. What another one of those acquisitions that you go, how did they find him?
Splitter for a strike, 1 and 2. Got him swinging. 2 gone.
Good response to giving up the home run and the lead. Come right back and pour that split finger right in the strike zone.
First run against the bullpen for the Dodgers since the Rangers series last week. Has tied the game at 1 in the 7th. Tommy La Stella to pinch hit in the 9 spot. First pitch curve taken low and in, ball 1. Both starters out of the game at this point. It's a matchup of what have been the two best bullpens in the National League in recent days. Ground ball for Logan Forsythe. The Cubs finished in the 7th, but Kyle Schwarber has tied the game at 1 with his 13th home run of the year. On to the 8th. For a preview of what's coming up on Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. Another close game for the Dodgers and Cubs at Wrigley Field. And despite so many missed opportunities in this doubleheader, Jerry, the Dodgers still have a chance to pull off the sweep.
They do have a chance, but a solid outing from Rich Hill.
It certainly was. Nomar, Jerry will break it down after the game. Alana has reaction from the clubhouse. We'll see you soon.
All right, guys. Randy Rosario pitching in both ends of this doubleheader.
Only 10 pitches in the first game. Probably feeling pretty fresh still. Dodgers looking to get that run back and get it back in a hurry. I don't think either team would be looking forward to extra innings with spending the night here yesterday and didn't get the game in at all. Now a doubleheader today and a day game looming tomorrow.
Lefty lefty Rosario Muncy. First pitch of the 8th. A little bit inside ball 1. It started to feel like we could have some rain, some weather in the area, and we're sprinkling a little bit a few minutes ago. Radar doesn't look horrible, thankfully. Umpire maybe got fooled by the check swing. 2-0. Chopper to right, base hit for Muncy to open the 8th. Hey, guess what? The leadoff man is on.
Again. Moving him around has been the problem.
We go for 2. Ball 1. Well, it's amazing the Dodgers are a run away from taking the lead, putting themselves in position to sweep this doubleheader on a day where they are 2 for 20 with runners on base. One ball, one strike.
Wrigley Field has not been conducive to the home run ball, and that's where the Dodgers have been producing most of their runs of late. So to string some base hits together, either with ground balls or line drives, that's the way they're probably going to need to manufacture a run.
And I misspoke. It's 2 for 20 in this game alone.
Oh.
It's 5 for 44 today with runners on. On a 1-1 pitch, Puig with a wicked rip and a miss on an elevated fastball. Muncy at first, nobody out. The 1-2. Puig shoots one to second, comes up on Baez, recovers to feed Russell, and they still turn a double play.
They're at the bottom half of the National League in errors, but they're at the top in defensive efficiency. It means they are turning a lot more balls that are hit that other teams don't turn into outs. They are. They get 2 on that play, even with the bobble. You've got to appreciate the athleticism in the Cub uniform.
Bellinger tried to hit it onto the street, fouled it off, strike 1. Our Arco top tier play of the game is Bellinger's stolen base in the 6th that came in front of Barnes' 2-out single to give the Dodgers their lone run so far.
It was a big stolen base, and his wheels got him home on that base hit through the 6th hole.
Take strike 2. He went back into the dugout after scoring that run. Dave Roberts was pointing at him saying, "That's you. That run is you. Put yourself in position for that." Rosario's 1-0-2 up high, and it's 1-2.
Well, going into that at bat, he was what, 1 for 17 with 9 strikeouts. He takes the walk with an adjusted batting stance, steals the base, and scores. That's not pouting in a slump. It's going out and trying to win a game.
Strikes out looking. Rosario with a scoreless save, tied at 1 to the bottom half. For game 3 of this series, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. How about this matchup to wrap up the series? Ross Stripling for the Dodgers with his 1.76 ERA, and John Lester putting together an all-star caliber season himself.
Ross Stripling has climbed into elite status with the run he's on, and that ERA at 1.76. An all-star bid hopefully around the corner for him, especially if he stays hot, beats the Cubs and John Lester tomorrow. That'll add to the resume and maybe get him to the all-star game.
Josh Fields for the bottom of the 8th.
Dodger bullpen really needs to blow their neck and continue their hot streak. 1-1 game on the road. Hard to sweep the Cubs in Wrigley in a doubleheader, but that is the task in front of them, and Josh Fields has the ball.
Josh has had issues. It's been because of home runs. There's some powerful hitters in this lineup coming up, including Chris Bryant, who leads it off by taking ball 1. Last 3 outings for Fields, though, just 1 base runner. Ground ball, positioned perfectly. Logan Forsythe. Chris Bryant is the most shifted against right-handed hitter in baseball, and that shift leads to an out.
Move the second baseman over to the left side of the field. Logan Forsythe, a strong enough arm to play third, so that throw was not a problem.
It brings up Javier Baez, who is 1 for 3 at the plate tonight, but has put on a show with his defense. Curveball fouled off.
Baez is spectacular, and he's got a lot of showman in him. This backhand right here to Rizzo, fantastic. Eyes in the back of his head, understanding where first base is, and then a ball that was hit like a bullet. He bobbles slightly, recovers with the bare hand, presence of mind to feed and start the double play.
Now carrying his team leading 14 home runs into this one and sending a high drive to center. Roberts Hernandez to the warning track for out number 2.
To celebrate America's birthday, the Dodgers have announced a tremendous ticket sale for the July 3rd and 4th games versus Pittsburgh. Tickets start as low as $10 and represent an 80% savings. Both games will feature a special post-game fireworks show presented by Budweiser. This is a limited offer, good through Wednesday only. Baseball and fireworks, nothing is better. Visit Dodgers.com/USA.
Strike 1 on Albert Almora. Boy, that swing from Baez had you holding your breath a little bit, huh?
Home run on a lot of nights, but not tonight with that wind.
Just died down some, but still enough to knock down a high fly ball like that. This one shot to right center. Hernandez won't get it and took a poor angle that will allow Almora. I would have given him a shot to get to third, but he hurt himself as he began to round second.
Picks on a high fastball. Kike thinking he might be able to catch it. Then the ball slices away from him. It's extra bases with 2 outs. Almora might not have gone for 3 because he's already in scoring position there at second. When does the injury occur? Maybe right there at the very end. He's trying to stop.
They've put Anthony Rizzo on intentionally to bring up Wilson Contreras. 3 very hard-hit balls against Josh Fields in this inning. No damage to show for it yet. 1-1 8th inning, and Contreras the hitter with men at first and second and 2 out.
Just like Rich Hill had mentioned that he needed to start landing his curveball, Josh Fields is in the same predicament. The league at times notices that he cannot get his secondary stuff over for a strike, so they sit on a fastball. Attempted that first pitch curveball, but it was up by the shoulders.
Now a fastball blown by him at 96.
It just tightens the spray pattern that you have on your primary pitch, which is the fastball. But with this one, he is very precise.
Two on, two out, tied in the 8th. Another fastball at 96 and another swinging strike.
If you want to bring the breaking ball into the equation, it's a great count to use it. You can bounce it, and there's no risk of giving up that run. If you stick with the heater, I think you'll want to climb the ladder.
Stuck with a fastball to strike him out. And despite some loud contact in the 8th, Josh Fields puts up a 0 and are locked at 1 to the 9th. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Introducing new Loco Kickin' Chicken from El Pollo Loco, fresh from the grill. Ernie said, let's play 2, and we are today. Dodgers winning game 1 4-3, locked in a 1-1 tie to the 9th inning here in the nightcap. And Steve Cishek, who pitched in game 1, will pitch the 9th of game 2.
He didn't throw that many pitches also. Joe Madden has had to juggle his bullpen and roles with Brandon Morrow's stiff back being out today. Wasn't able to come in and get the save or attempt the save in game 1. They lost that one to late inning heroics from Kyle Farmer. So he continues to go with a few more of the warm bodies down there other than Brandon Morrow.
Bottom third of the order, it's Forsythe, and then it appears it'll be Grandal instead of Barnes. Smonty's in the on-deck circle. And then maybe Jock Peterson. That's ball 1. Did you hear Brandon Morrow? They asked him, well, how did the back injury happen? And he said, we came home from St. Louis late Sunday night, got back to my place, and I was trying to take my pants off. My back seized up. 1-1.
Means he was on the verge of getting hurt, probably.
It's kind of good to know, though, that even professional athletes feel a little tight when they're trying to get in and out of the outfit.
You know, the first thing I thought about is a plane ride, but St. Louis to Chicago is not that long. You know, it's usually a lot of times your back seizes up on a cross-country flight, dehydrated from playing and then not drinking enough water when you're on the canned air of the airplane, you can get some serious cramping. Fall asleep on 3 coach seats, and all of a sudden you wake up and your legs are like crawling up. You feel like you can't unwind.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Logan Forsythe, who has 2 hits today. Cishek comes home, and Forsythe swings, rips one down the line. That's a fair ball. Cut off on a bounce by Schwarber. Forsythe digging for 2. He's in there with a leadoff double. A 3-hit day for Logan Forsythe.
What a beautiful swing, aggressive, meeting the ball out in front of the plate. Schwarber is an arm in left field that you will challenge, and George Lombard had his finger pointed towards second base as soon as that ball was hit, and there was no delay in Logan's heading towards second.
His first 3-hit game of the year, and a chance to jump right back in front with Yasmani Grandal up there, looking at a tailing fastball for a strike. Peterson awaits his first opportunity of the day, at least of game 2. Right now it's Grandal. Strike 2. The issue has not been getting him on, it's been getting him in. 4 for 25 today with runners in scoring position. Got him on again. They get him in this time. Taken high, 1-2. Grandal hits a high fly ball to right center field. The wind will keep it from getting too deep. Almora makes the catch, and Forsythe's headed nowhere.
The wind affected the fly ball, and it also affected the throw in from center. Ended up well offline. It was headed directly to third until the wind hit it.
Jock Peterson coming up, and Steve Cishek's going to stay on for him. But they're going to put him on because of this. He has been really good against right-handed pitching like Cishek. So first and second with 1 out. The Dodgers will take this. I'll take Chris Taylor in a big spot in a tie game in the 9th. But for Joe Madden right now, it's kind of pick your poison with no Brandon Morrow. You'd rather have Cishek against Taylor and Cishek against Peterson. Slider, strike 1.
You get right on right, and you get a possible double play ball to an exceptional infield defense.
One and 1. Taylor 2 for 4. He's twice gone up the middle for singles today. Forsythe at second. Peterson at first. He takes a strike 1 and 2. Cishek ready. Here it comes. Inside, 2-2. Many hours ago, Chris Taylor was hit in the helmet by a Tyler Chatwood fastball. Somehow doesn't budge. The one that blazes by his hip. That's the mark that it left. On a 2-2. Reaches out after a slider and floats it into the seats. This is what we were talking about from earlier. Very scary moment in game 1. Dodgers trying to move to 13-3 in June. 23-30 or 23-7 over their last 30. Taylor just gets a piece to stay alive.
After getting hit in the head in game 1, he came back and hit a triple down the left field line the next at bat. Not only did he stay in the game, he thrived.
Tough guy, former wrestler. Another 2-2. Taylor down on strikes.
The pattern was fastballs in on the hands and breaking balls away. They were attempting a fastball away, low and away, creeped down the middle, but still beat him.
And it's up to Hernandez. They've had the leadoff man on 13 times today. Only twice has he come around to score. One of those was Jack Peterson's home run to lead off the day. Ball 1.
Well, you're hoping Kike feels like game 5 of the NLCS from last year right about now. 3 home runs in that game.
Here's a throw down to second. Forsythe back in there. The count goes to 2-0 on Kike.
You mentioned that Contreras does this an awful lot more than anybody in baseball. The back pick at second. I think Baez likes to be involved in it too. I think you got a combo of guys who like to be around the baseball.
On a 2-0, Hernandez looks at a strike over the inside corner. Fun to watch.
There's a lot of energy and athleticism out there.
Forsythe started the inning with a double. He's at second. Peterson at first after the walk. And a 2-1 to Hernandez. Inside corner again, 2-2.
Front door sliders, but I'm not sure that's where they really want to go. He didn't make it to the door.
Same pitch, but this time it misses. The count goes full, so the runners will get a head start. Popped up. Anthony Rizzo inning over. They continue to struggle when given opportunities. Tied at 1 to the bottom of the 9th. No decision, but our Lexus player of the game is Rich Hill. 6 scoreless innings tonight in his return from the DL.
6 strikeouts. The breaking ball came around late. It could have been just strategy, trying to use the fastball early and establish the breaking ball late. But that's the pattern that ended up succeeding for Rich Hill. Coming off the DL, an absolutely amazing, fabulous comeback for Rich Hill, and really injects a lot of life into the Dodger rotation.
Josh Fields pitched a scoreless 8th. He'll pitch the 9th as well, with Russell, Schwarber, and Happ due up. Cubs trying to do to the Dodgers what the Dodgers did to the Cubs earlier today, and that is steal one late. Dodgers are racing the deficit in the 9th inning of game 1, winning it when down to their final strike. Cubs trailed this game before Schwarber homered against Goodell in the 7th. Addison Russell, strike 1. Russell is 1 for 3 today. In a lot of ways having a good year with the average and on the on-base percentage. Only 3 home runs though. It's well below his career rate. Watches this one spin away, 1-1. One and 2. Opposite field, that's a base hit. Russell opens the 9th with a single against Fields. And it brings up Kyle Schwarber, whose home run is accounted for the Cubs scoring in this game.
High fastball that he gets on top of. A little bit aided by the wind, but that's out of any ballpark as well as he hit it.
Dave Roberts coming to the mound to take it from Josh Fields, with the left-handed batting Schwarber coming up. Edward Paredes going to come in for the Dodgers, tied at 1 in the 9th. Come on, Edward. Batting Kyle Schwarber.
Only 3 pitches in game 1. One of 7 pitchers used by the Dodgers to win that game 4-3. Here coming in for Josh Fields for the left-on-left situation to kind of shut down the heated-up bat of Schwarber.
Home run for Schwarber was his 13th. That's 1 shy of the team lead, just behind Javier Baez. It was on a high fastball that Eric Goodell threw, and all Goodell was doing was pitching to the scouting report. Kyle Schwarber entered the game with the worst slugging in baseball against elevated fastballs. How do you balance that info with what you saw the last time you tried to elevate a fastball against him?
Bring in a guy who throws mostly sliders and has faced left-handed batters this season, and they are 0 for 7 with 5 Ks off of him.
So stay down.
Stay down and throw the breaking ball.
He does, and Schwarber takes it. Russell, the potential winning run, is at first base. Paredes to Schwarber with a 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Wicked one. On and off speed, 1-1. Five-year-old Kyle Schwarber bunts it foul. 1-2. What do you think?
In some ways I say thank you very much for the strike. In other ways, on the same side of the page, I'm glad he tried to attempt the bunt. He's swinging a hot bat. Maybe that tells you that he is not picking up the breaking ball very well, because the one he swung and missed that was right down the middle. He's going to get a slider blown away right here. See if he can lay off of it.
Paredes, a deep breath and a 1-2 pitch. He got him swinging. Exactly how you had planned for him, with a heavy dose of sliders.
Tip of the hat to the execution. Take the breaking ball and walk him off the plate. No need to go to the high fastball. There are certain parts of the season that maybe a guy who normally has a hole up has got a groove swing in the short term for that pitch, and he proved it tonight. He could catch up to the high fastball, stick with the breaking ball.
How about with Happ, another guy who the data says is very bad against high fastballs. Russell runs, and it's grounded foul. They've gotten a good jump. It's 0-1. Russell has to go back to first.
Have a very good jump. Against some lefties, you don't even try and read the move. You just go on first move, and that's what like he did.
Really good lead. Not running. Strike 2.
Short leg kick right there to protect against the running game, but it also shortened the break on the breaking ball.
Out of the fastball, it's 1-2. Addison Russell only 2 steals this year. He's only attempted 5 steals over the last 2 seasons combined. 1-2 pitch after throw. He's still in from left at this point.
As a pitcher, you're trying to protect against the running game, but here in the so-called friendly confines of Wrigley Field, which is on top of the visiting dugout, the boos come out.
There goes Russell, and then he held off as the pitch just missed.
Break and shut her down.
Started this inning with a single. Tied at 1, bottom of the 9th. Paredes struck out Schwarber, and now he strikes out Happ for out number 2. I don't know what Happ was looking for.
It's like a changeup they want down, ends up and away, and it functions very well for the Dodgers. Nice job catching that ball by Yasmani Grandal.
So now it's Paredes against a pinch hitter, Ben Zobrist. Russell still anchored to first. Paredes trying to get this thing into extras. His first one. Popped up on the right field line. Puig on a dead sprint to make the catch. And despite the leadoff single, this game will go to extras thanks to Edward Paredes out of the bullpen, sitting him down in order. Chances today. This is in the 2 games combined. Dodgers 4 for 28 with men in scoring position. The Cubs 2 for 16. But on we go. Tied at 1. The lone tally's coming. Home run from Schwarber. 2-out hit from Barnes. That was in the 6th. And it's Justin Hancock, who's the 26th man for this twin bill, to pitch to 3, 4, and 5 in the Dodger order.
Added a high-quality arm that's had a good start to the 2018 season when he has been up here. 1.74 ERA. Little trouble with walks. 10 strikeouts, 7 walks. So that could be something that the Dodgers keep an eye on.
Justin Turner will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot to lead this inning off. Extended his hitting streak to 6 games with a base hit in the 9th inning and scored the winning run in game 1. On the first pitch of the 10th, takes ball 1. Now takes ball 2. You mentioned the strikeout to walk ratio for Hancock, not a thing of beauty. He's falling behind Turner here to open his outing.
Strikeout an inning, but also 7 walks in 10 innings. So
overthrows it badly.
Electric arm, 96 miles an hour, but needs to find the plate. Dodgers have been very good at leadoff walks today.
He'll have the green light if he wants it to unload. Instead, he takes a walk on 4 pitches to open the 10th. We should just save some time and put the leadoff man at first base each inning for the Dodgers, because that's been the end result pretty much every time today. Muncy comes up. 8 of the 10 innings they've had the leadoff man on. 14 of the 19 innings total today. And scored him twice. Which is even a little bit misleading, because one of those times was the home run, so it scored itself by getting the leadoff man on. The other time was the 9th inning of game 1, when Barnes started the inning with a walk. Turner singled. Farmer won it with a double. Hancock's 1-0. Snaps a string of 5 consecutive balls to open his 9th. There are 2 strikes. They take Chris Bryant from third base and put him over into short right field. Threat of the bunt gone, more or less. The 1-2. Muncy pops it up. Fading hard. Weird. Russell had a long way to go because of the shift, but it's almost like he thought it was in the seats and winds up bouncing on the side warning track.
I think the wind affected that ball. We've seen it play games with all the fielders in right field, and this one, yeah, he gives up on it. They moved Chris Bryant over there to guard against the ground ball, and they lost an out with a pop-up in foul territory.
I'm almost wondering, like, did it hit the net? We're just seeing it wrong? Just the way he reacted, and then not even really any disappointment. It's weird.
You might be right about that.
Either way, life from Muncy. Turner at first, a 1-2. Another foul ball. That one hit the net. Muncy singled to open the 8th. His first hit today, but he does have 4 walks in this doubleheader. Any ball hit hard to right and down the line is going to get a bit of a boost from that wind. Pushing in from left. A 1-2. Very high. 2-2. Jansen and Brock Stewart, Dodgers 26th man. Here comes a 2-2. Max Muncy foul tips it into the glove for strike 3.
'97 from Hancock on the corner, gets it by him.
Would you believe that Max Muncy has the 2nd lowest batting average in baseball on outside pitches? So Hancock attack there.
I would not.
Oh. 1 on 1 out for Puig. with his ability to go the other way. That shocked me when I saw that.
He must be going the other way with balls down the middle and balls inside.
Puig drives the ball to right center field. It is caught by a leaping Ben Zobrist.
You're talking about the #1 defensive efficiency team, and we are watching them struggle at times to catch baseballs, and I think the wind is doing some crazy things out there.
Bellinger with 2 out. Taking strike 1. Chopper foul. 0-2.
Pretty good pitch to hit for an 0-2 count right there. Cody with a mighty swing at it. This is a mistake. Oh.
Another 0-2 from Hancock. Turner started the inning with a walk. He's still at first.
He's shaking to the slider right here. If he goes with that, he's giving Bellinger a chance to pull the ball down the right field line.
Through it, a pop-up. Contreras watches it become a souvenir.
You've got the ability to throw 98 miles an hour away from a power-hitting lefty. You're going to throw him a slider and let him use the right side of the diamond a little easier because of the speed of the pitch. You better make sure he swings and misses. It was another hittable pitch in a pitcher's count.
And now another 1-2. Bellinger swings and muscles one up the middle for a base hit. Turner making the turn, headed for third. They're at the corners with 2 out.
Cody with a walk today and a stolen base scored the Dodger first run. This is only his second hit in 18 at bats, but it is a key one here in extra innings. Keeps this inning alive. It was a very good battle from an 0-2 count.
And the hottest Dodger hitter in this second game has been the man coming up now, Logan Forsythe, with his first 3-hit game of the year.
Young man on the mound that has control issues, and a man on third that a wild pitch pass ball could put the Dodgers ahead.
Ball 1. You've got the bricks here. You get some crazy ricochets. You've got the different advertisement boards with the weird angles. Not a whole lot of room, but some stuff can happen back there.
It's asymmetrical. You look in there as from the pitcher's mound, and it is not symmetrical to home plate.
Hancock's 1-0 by the hands. Ball 2 on Forsythe.
Extra innings, 8 walks in your 11 innings in 2018 with the Cubs. You start to feel the tension on the mound.
He brings it 2-0. Forsythe looks at ball 3. After him, it's Grandal. Brock Stewart, if it remains tied. Kenley Jansen if Forsythe comes through. 3-0. Ball 4, bases loaded. And Yasmani Grandal coming to the plate. Joe Madden out of the dugout. He's going to call on the left-hander to force Grandal to bat right-handed.
Will this move bring out the secret weapon, or will Grandal get the hit from the right side?
Are you referencing Kyle Farmer?
I am.
Face Yasmani Grandal.
Thank you for pronouncing his last name. He's been called up a couple times here to the Cubs and called into a very tough situation for a guy who's only pitched 2 innings this year.
26-year-old, handful of outings in the major leagues. Facing the veteran catcher Grandal, so they'll save the secret weapon. Hopefully won't need him tonight. Another chance. Another bases loaded chance. Turner started the inning with a walk. Bellinger with a 2-out single. Forsythe with a 2-out walk. And now Grandal. Ball 1.
You got to keyhole him right here. You got to force him to throw a strike, but if it is a strike, it has to be right in the zone that he's looking for.
One-0. It's a strike. 1-1. Grandal takes ball 2.
How many times as a little kid do you make believe I'm in the big leagues? It's extra innings. It's bases loaded. 2 out. I'm up. I want to be the hero.
This would be one of the ballparks you'd picture that in too. On a 2-1. Grandal hits a fly ball right field that Ben Zobrist will settle under. They've left and loaded again. To the bottom of the 10th, still tied at 1. Here at Wrigley Field, Dodgers winning a 1-run game in the first game. Here we go to the bottom of the 10th inning, and the Dodgers and Cubs are still tied at 1.
Frustration on both sides as far as the offense is concerned, and Rich Hill with an amazing outing to start this game. Goodell ending a tremendous string of 13 scoreless outings. The home run by Schwarber ruined that, but this one is still going on.
It's going to be Brock Stewart, who's the 26th man for this doubleheader, to come on and pitch, and it's not going to be easy. He's got the top of the order with Bryant, Baez, and Almora coming up.
And Brock's going to need to get more than his fastball changeup combination working. The breaking ball continues to be the thing that he wants to perfect to add to those 2 outstanding pitches.
All kinds of defensive changes are trying to ID for you. As Chris Bryant gets ready to bat. The thing that starts to trickle down is that Justin Turner, after pinch hitting last inning, is staying in and playing third. Muncy's also staying in. He's flipped over to first. Chris Bryant takes ball 1. Kike Hernandez has slid from center to second. Cody Bellinger has gone from first to center. Got it. Radio silence.
Oh, were you talking to me?
1-1. No, my other partner.
Good. Alana? I had it. I was staring out at Bellinger just to ID him.
Stewart to Chris Bryant with a 1-1 pitch. Got him swinging with a fastball 1-2.
I was completely listening to Joe. Justin Turner stayed in the game. He went to third. Muncy switched over to first. Bellinger's now in center. Hernandez is at second. Stewart's on the hill.
Bam.
Nice lot. She just dropped the mic.
Right on your face, Hershiser. Bryant goes the other way. Puig sprinting towards the corner. That ball is fair. It ricochets back towards the infield. This could be trouble. Bryant held it third as Puig picks it up, and the winning run is 90 feet away.
The wind helps this one. Keep it away from Yasiel Puig. Also drive it into that corner. Some of the most outrageous kicks and caroms can happen here in Wrigley Field with the ivy covering the brick. And that ball caroming away from Yasiel Puig was a long run back in towards the infield.
Joe Madden likes to squeeze play as much as anybody. And Javier Baez can handle the bat as well as anybody. They're going to put him on.
They might put two guys on and go with bases loaded, no out here, and set up the force play at home.
Chess match. Looks like they're going to let Stewart face Almora. One of the top hitters in the National League so far this year, and another young player that can handle the bat pretty well if Joe Madden wants to go that route. Tied up in the 10th, winning run at third. Ball one.
Infield pitched in, outfield pinched in. The only run that matters is the one at third. Brock Stewart putting in a little extra effort on those fastballs. They're supposed to be up and in, and he's pulling them low and away.
Teams split the doubleheader. Rubber match tomorrow.
Offensive frustrations for the Cubs released here to win this one, but two of the hottest teams in baseball currently split the doubleheader.
This one's tough for the Dodgers to look at the final tally, and they go 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position and strand 13. Many opportunities they just couldn't come through on. So they'll try to win the series tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. For Oral, Alana, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Chicago. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers, starts now.